Howdy folks, welcome back. It's the Summit 3 America Qualifier Phase number 1, and today we find out what two teams are going to make it into Phase number 2. Our first series has turned into quite the doozy. It's Voidboys taking on Team Tinker, and we are evened up 1-1.
Yeah, we certainly are. Game 1 was a complete slaughter with the Voidboys going down, but Game 2, they had the team fight presence to give Tinker a run for their money. Let's see what they can do coming up in Game number 3, because this is it. It's all on the line here.
Let's do it. Without further ado, here's the draft. First bans for Team Tinker, getting rid of that Troll and the Shadow Fiend that Voidboys showed very good work with in the hands of Beyond there in game number 2. Voidboys, they eliminate the Chen, which is something Way Too loves to get a hold of if permitted. And then the Axe is going to be the follow-up. So Team Tinker take this moment to open up with a Vengeful Spirit. Voidboys grab up a Bat Rider, first pick, even seeing the Vengeful Spirit. Very confident stuff from them. And we'll have to see what they decide to do with pick number 2 and what kind of value they have there. Lion could be still a potent grab. And,
yeah.
Well, I don't know. Just Vengeful Spirit.
A lot of confidence picking that Bat Rider right into the Venge. That's really making your mark known, exclaiming how much you have faith in the Bat Rider. See what the Voidboys can do with it. Venge is not one of those end-all, be-all hard counters. It's great at swapping out and breaking the lasso, but not always in the right place at the right time. It is possible for a good bat to play around.
Well, if I had to have someone play Vengeful Spirit, KotLGuy's got to be one of the best to do it. I mean, that is a hero that he religiously was put on all through his time at Cloud9. And, well, he gets welcomed with the Vengeful Spirit once more here. So I have good confidence in where he was been positioning himself so far in game number 1 and 2 that he will be there at a moment's notice if someone gets snagged up and taken away. So, and that's just the first pick. They could still build additional somewhat Bat Rider counters on top of that. You get something, I was going to say like an Earthshaker on your side, or even a Tidehunter, let's say, even though most players don't care for that hero anymore. It's really hard to make a jump onto a hero like that. But here we go. Earthshaker going to be the second grab for Voidboys as their first support lead-in. Great at range setups, great at combo breaking ganks, great at being all over the place. Hell, could even be an offlane core for all we know. But
yeah, hard to say what they'll do with the Earthshaker. Standard is put him in the 4, maybe the 5, but, you know, could play Core Shaker, could offlane. A very versatile pick, and deters picks like the Faceless Void.
5 seconds remaining.
People that go cruising on in there, and that long-range fissure helps break things up. But Team Tinker, they're going to stick to their guns. Third game in a row that they pick up the Enigma in the first couplet. And, well, Way Too's played pretty well both go-arounds, but interesting to see the same hero chosen here in all 3 matches.
Dire side Enigma as well. This is where he thrives best. In last game, that's where he was, and he had an uncontested jungle, so he built up good farm. He got good time on his mechanism. Hell, even the Blink Dagger thereafter. Got a good early level 6. The Black Hole setups were there. I don't know if it was really game-changing. The execution is where things felt a bit shaky, but as far as the early jungle phase, yeah, he definitely got the job done. So maybe looking for a better follow-up there. Maybe also hoping they could put Ush on something a bit more comfortable for them. Not going to really be involved too much with the Drow, but hey, Juggernaut's still out there if they want to grab a hold of that. And before the Enigma, I could have said once again, Tiny Wisp could have been an option, but they're not going to be going down that road as they've already grabbed up the Vengeful Spirit, most likely for KotLGuy, and now their secondary support in the Enigma.
Okay, so final, or third and fourth bans rather, Viper now taken out by
Sniper also, by the way.
Tinker.
Could be grabbed up from Tinker.
Okay, yeah, Sniper's still in the pool. We've seen him banned out, I think, in the first phase in games 1 and 2. So this is definitely a bit different.
I mean, it's tricky to go Sniper against a Bat Rider, but if you have a Vengeful Spirit on your team and even an Enigma follow-up, I don't think you're too worried about it. So Sniper could be something they roll with. I know Ush has played Sniper a few times. Quakefall also could be one to take control of the Sniper there. But now with a ban on Clockwork, maybe it's Voidboys who kind of want to go with a Sniper themselves.
Quite possibly. They will have that first, third pick, so they could be the ones that want to pick it up here.
Oh, a Silencer ban from Team Tinker. They're going to go with big team fight.
Possibly.
Seeing a Silencer makes me believe that they could be reaching for a Phoenix. Could be reaching for like a... yeah, like possibly a Phoenix. Something that could really make a huge impact here.
Phoenix does pair pretty nicely with the Enigma.
Just Storm, yeah.
Yeah, just the nature of the Black Hole and the Supernova together. But the Storm final ban. Okay, well, flashback to game number 1. They don't want to get caught by that same Ush hero that really gave them a run for their money.
I can't help but feel like this will be a sniper. Banning out the clockwork just makes me
and the
wager
storm.
that they
Two
figure out
heroes so
gap
good against
closers.
sniper.
If they don't get sniper here, they risk handing over sniper to Team Tinker. Ho ho ha ha.
I don't know what else they would value more than the sniper here. Maybe they've been saving that Patzel hero towards the end. They could do something. I don't know why you would grab a support over the sniper here. There's so many supports left in the pool.
And what do you get to counter back if it is not going to be the sniper? Queen of Pain has been something a lot of teams have been throwing into the rotation. But
Against the sniper?
Try to make it work, yeah. Could be pretty mobile. I mean, Voidboys, if they don't grab it here, they could anticipate Tinker going to pick it up and kind of try to think one step ahead with their own potential mid lane matchup. But no, they will take the sniper. They waited a while for it, but there it is. Now Team Tinker, they should have expected this one coming with the appropriate bans on Clockwork Storm. A sniper was just kind of the inevitable, and, well, we'll see what they kind of do to answer back to that.
Yeah, there's still a Centaur. He's really fallen out of favor, but he's pretty good against the sniper for similar reasons. Blink, you've got the Stampede, so someone like Avenge can run in and get in position. Also, pretty good against the Bat to disengage.
Oh, yeah. That's why I still like the Phoenix, which was something I toyed with a bit. Can kind of close the gap there with your Icarus dive. Those snipers pretty good at cracking the egg.
Yeah,
is the other thing. But if they're more busy focused on getting a hold of the egg, that can leave a good opening for someone like an Enigma to kind of follow through.
Yeah,
Earthshaker, Bat Rider, they're not big at being able to take down the egg. Just Sniper.
Yeah,
but that means Sniper has to plant himself and shoot it, and then you risk being open.
Sniper and Troll are the two heroes regarded as pretty good counters against the against the Phoenix Egg for the range as well as the attack speed. But Slark for now picked up by Team Tinker, probably your Ush hero, I would imagine. Safe lane farmer, but we'll see how they want to lane it.
Slark's very good against this lineup. Good against Bat Rider. You can just as easily packed off that lasso. Packed off any engagement, any sort of heavy stun coming in, and just could be so mobile, and he can get in behind enemy lines and really surprise Sniper from behind. But lo and behold, a Bloodseeker picked up here. Oh my goodness,
something
this is
a lot different.
Good against the Slark. If Slark's going to be low on life and wants to regen, that's not going to be happening with a Bloodseeker on the field. Now, is this a core Bloodseeker, a mid lane Bloodseeker, or a 4-position Bloodseeker?
Hard to say. The most successful Bloodseekers we've seen since he's been re-added to Captain's mode with all of his new changes, with his big movement speed and all that stuff, has been in the 4. Jungling from level 1, moving around and helping to gank the lanes, harass the Slark. I wonder if this will be a Zeus final pick from Voidboys. They could get away with it, and that's a classic combo that is still very potent. It was nerfed a little bit. You do have reduced damage on global things when you're not within that range.
I
but
like that, yeah.
It's still ridiculous. The thing that people get caught up in is you used to be able to just like destroy people with a refresher as Zeus if you have the Bloodseeker buff. Now you don't usually get the kills, but you still get them low enough that Bloodseeker can just charge in and play Trash Collector.
Stops with initiation that maybe Enigma wants to go for, and this mystery other hero, and gives the extra bit of vision in case Slark wants to kind of hide in the dark or goes like a Shadow Blade kind of get up, but it's going to be Team Tinker picking up the Beastmaster here, something they have thrown into the rotation as of recent for Bulba in his off lane. Now you get that extra bit of map presence with the bird out there. You got great lockdown on anyone who's a BKB kind of a hero. Good against Bat Rider if he wants to make the jump in. You can quickly counter back with that call. And if Bloodseeker is going to be in a core position, normally grabs a BKB. So it's good lockdown, good reliable lockdown, good map control, good wave clear with axes. Good hero.
Good hero. Yeah. Now Medusa banned out final by the Voidboys. I guess a good ban here. Would secure the late game for Team Tinker for sure with a Slark and a Dusa. Tinker thinking about this final ban. They'll only have about 10 seconds of reserve time to chew through. I think a Zeus final ban here makes a lot of sense. They do need another core. You can either safe lane the Zeus or put him in the mid. They ban out the Lion, so assuming that this is a core Bloodseeker, they opt to ban a support.
That means they could go for a secondary support. Another good support that's good against Slark to prevent the regen. Ancient Apparition could be good right off the bat at level 1. And gets, you put the Chilling Touch and the Bloodseeker together. I guess that's even more bonus damage to be dishing out. Has that extra global flare as well that you could get if you're not going for a Zeus. And they are going for a support. It's just hard to say. We don't see a lot of Voidboys as it is. So what they do with this Bloodseeker is just remains to be a mystery.
Yeah,
I'm sure
I mean,
Team Tinker feel the same way.
It was obviously picked to counter the Slark. We mentioned that right when it was snagged, but how they choose to lane it and all that is, oh, it's its own beast. And here you go, Disruptor, their second support. So a big AoE silence. They get the glimpse factor. Another good hero to pair with the Bloodseeker. So it would appear he'll be the safe lane farmer. Sniper will go mid, then Bat will take the off lane. So who does Pat? Is Pat Soul playing the Bloodseeker here?
My goodness, I think he is. The one and only Pat Soul. I don't know if Bloodseeker's one of his top heroes, but, you know, this guy knows how to farm up some creeps, and maybe this is something he'd been running in scrim play or just kind of as a back pocket strat. But no better time than now than elimination time.
Yeah.
So you're going to be putting a lot of confidence behind it. But there it is, the Tinker for Team Tinker. And is it going to be a quick foot Tinker? It looks like it will be. An old special, man. Back at TI4, he put on what was one of the best Tinker performances. Man, the kid can play Tinker. But nowadays, things are a bit different, of course. He got nerfed down a bit. No easy, reliable jungle farm. But now with players like Sumail coming in the ups and ups, Arteezy, I'm sure, has been kind of throwing Tinker back into his rotation a bit. As long as you're able to bring in some good farm, get those boots of travel happening, you can still be that Swiss Army knife of a hero and just be a real nuisance all over the place. Still
very potent. A lot of folks are tempted to say, well, now he sucks. He's just countered by BKB. But once those BKBs get down to 5 seconds, Tinker can unleash an arsenal that will supersede your BKB by a pretty big margin. He can still do huge damage, can still control a game, and you can't get BKB on your creeps, so you can still use March to move around the lanes, get a lot of creep equilibrium going the way of your team. Very difficult hero to deal with, as always, if he gets that crazy early farm he's hoping for.
And you're picking a Tinker into a Disruptor. Bit of confidence right there. Disruptor's one of the few heroes that's pretty good against Tinker. Obviously sends his ass packing right back where the hell he came from, or if he's trying to make a quick escape, he'll be there to prevent it. Glimpse at level 4 has a huge range you cannot underestimate as a Tinker. I can't count how many times I've gone against a Tinker, and you just simply wait in the bushes, and when he thinks he's able to make a quick trip back to the base after expending all of his mana, you're there to just plop him in his place, and then he has to get back the good old-fashioned way.
That's a good point. Down bottom, Flow going to be blocked out. He eats through the trees. Nice heads-up play from the Beastmaster right away to chew through a Tango. That will keep him safe. Otherwise, would have been blocked out. Nice fissure to get things started. Even Shrapnel to follow up. Disruptor not leveling anything quite yet, but could have possibly put a point in Glimpse there if it would have secured the kill. So, all right, Voidboys. Phew, almost get that first blood as they defend their jungle.
It's good, though. I mean, Bulba's happy to expend one Tango if it forces them to use all those skills and early Shrapnel. Half of the mana from Earthshaker's now gone, and unless he goes back to base, he might have to pull out an early Clarity. But he starts muscling across, and he will use that early Clarity. So a Tango at the expense of one of Earthshaker's Clarities plus some Shrapnel ain't too bad there for Bulba. But let's go ahead and talk about the rosters here for game number 3 in a series that we're all evened up 1-1. It's Voidboys on your Radiant side. Beyond's going to be playing your Sniper in the mid lane. He's getting some block power, or, well, a lack of a block, unfortunately, there for Omega Boner, who's going to be playing your support Disruptor. Bottom lane, it's Pat Soul, the myth, the man, the legend himself. Going to be playing your Blood Seeker. On top lane, we're going to have Mercy Please playing your off lane Bat, a confident Bat Rider pick into a Vengeful Spirit. And to round things out, it's Fly, who's going to be playing your support Earthshaker, going with some early stacks for this Bat Rider.
Okay, so Dire side, we've got Team Tinker, Flow, a.k.a. Bulba. He takes the Beastmaster to the off lane. Mid, that'll be Koikfa on the Tinker. Jungle for the 3rd game in a row. The Pink Panda way too sexy on the Enigma. That puts Ush in the safe lane Slark position. And KotLGuy supporting once more on the Vengeful Spirit. Fairly straightforward lanes out of both teams, really. Think about what you would predict.
Yeah, and it's going to be another uncontested jungle here for Way 2, so he should have free will to meet that quota of a fantastically timed early level 7, get his black hole online, maybe even the early makings of his mechanism if that's what he chooses to do. But I'm sure we're all going to be very curious as far as what Pat Soul has in store for us this game as a Bloodseeker. What kind of build he's going to be going for, what his motives are going to be, how long is he going to spend farming. Is the second he get level 6, does he start looking for kills? Does he start trying to make action happen? Or does he go more greedy? Lots of questions, Zyori. I need the answers.
Yeah, no answers to be found quite yet. We'll have to be a little patient here as this game gets kicked off. Koikfa getting harassed pretty hard by the Sniper in the mid lane, though so far their CS scores very even with one another. Just like all the other games in this series, we'll expect Team Tinker to have a farming edge early on with that Enigma in the jungle. And it's only translated to a win in one of these two games. It seems like Team Tinker really do well when they get momentum early on. It seems like that confidence carries with them into the mid-game, but their laning stage is a little more shaky. It was in that latter portion of the mid-game in game number 2 where they started to fall apart a little bit, and that team communication, the team strategy didn't quite seem to be clear.
The 2-minute runes pop up. It's an invis at the top, which Pilot is going to be able to snag, but Voidboys do have a ward up on the high ground over here. They see it be snagged, and Beyond's going to play cautiously, but now they bull rush forward, hoping to catch him with a sentry, but Pilot was a little too far away. They were hoping that maybe Pilot was aggressively waiting on this side of the hill, and they could have caught him out. Clever play, but it's not going to be happening.
Beyond just baiting here, a little too aggressive. Pilot saying, there's something fishy about this sniper going up to our high ground on this side of the river. I'm going to stay back. Good game sense there to realize this is too good to be true. There's no way this sniper is that silly without some sort of a trap card up his sleeve.
There's a lot of time, though, for these Voidboys supports to be paying attention to mid and making stacks happen elsewhere. And with that, you get Flow in the bottom lane on their offlane Beastmaster with some early CS and some early level gain. He's 7-1, but in a lane where he should be zoned back and eating a lot of harassment, that's not too terrible. And now he's happy to go mono-e-mono here with Pat Soul, and well, this is a matchup we don't see very often. Bloodseeker versus Beastmaster. I mean, 2-man fighters. I'm sure they're both just going to try to find their way and find their farm.
Yeah, the Bat Rider has already found his level 3, so off to a very good start. Now moving into the jungle. Plenty of stacks to work with. Has a nice big triple stack there at the hard camp in the middle. And he's been working these western camps. Now in the mid. Pylai die. This could be your first blood. Fissure comes out. Shrapnel rains down. And Beyond on the sniper. Secures the first blood. Finds himself a little bit of bonus gold.
Classic Pylai die. But no, in all seriousness, that was a great counterplay right there. Good rotation from your Earthshaker, your supporter Shaker. Always have that TP on hand for situations like that. Easy turnaround, the slow of the Shrapnel, the setup with the Fissure, and there's just not much that the Vengeful Spirit can do to get away. She'd been paying so much attention to that mid lane. Finally, something breaks out, and it's her to go down.
Beastmaster looking at this haste rune down bottom. He's only level 4, so not a huge amount of kill potential. No value point in the inner beast either. Very interested to see how Pat Soul builds this game. He'll pick up his Phase Boots first item on this Bloodseeker. Level 5 with 3 points in the Thirst, actually, of all things. Going for the trash collector build here. The mop and bucket.
I mean, maybe if he gets a TP scroll, he can quickly TP somewhere, and then he gets all that huge move speed to track down and kill any sort of weak and wounded animal. But
I mean, looking at it right now, moving at 435, he's got some vision of the Enigma.
Thanks to Way 2 in the jungle, who's very low on life. There is no Voidboys members nearby, but they have the vision now of Enigma if they wanted to make a rotation ever. But Kale,
uh-oh,
we got lag. Lag popping out.
We got Kale on the field. All right, start the timers. Limited duration of pauses here. Hopefully, Pylai Die can reconnect. He is EU playing on US East servers after all, so I guess a fair bit of lag is to be expected, but seems simple restart will be the cure to his woes.
I'm just so curious to see where the team fight's really going to come here. It doesn't seem like there's just a lot of synergy on the side of Voidboys. I mean, imagine, let's just see a fight unfold. Bat Rider jumps in, pulls him back into a hopeful disruptor setup with a static storm, and then I guess just from the outside you have Sniper dishing out right click, and what, Pat Soul's just going to be in there bloodthirsty, trying to kill them, going man mode. There's a lot of heroes you can't man up too easily on a Team Tinker until you get a BKB, which he certainly might need to go for. Koikfoot can just simply laser him, and then he has no chance of making any sort of hit connections. And Slark ain't afraid to go into a man fight. He's got Shadow Dance to fall back on just in case things get too hairy, given the fact that they would be able to see him, though. But they can't do a whole lot as far as damage goes.
Yeah,
I'm just really curious to see. And plus, there's a black hole on the side of Team Tinker.
They do have a
and
black
even though
hole.
if he does go BKB, which he will, you got a Beastmaster with your Primal Roar. It feels like with execution, Team Tinker should have a good, formidable team fight, but I don't know. We saw last game, execution didn't really work out too well for him, and it was Voidboys who got what they wanted.
Yeah, it wasn't a draft issue in Game 2 for sure. It just really felt like they weren't on the same page. You had some players looking to defend, some looking to fight, some looking to farm, and you have to have a cohesive plan. It doesn't matter how individually skilled you are. You're not winning a 3v5 if you can't all be in the same place at the same time to deal with the opposition coming your way. But looks like KotLGuy having more than just a little lag issue here. Already been 2.5 minutes or so. That's 25% of their pause time. You only get 10 minutes. And the clock is running.
We can take this moment, though, since we are in a pause, talk about what is in store for us for the rest of today. This is a third game matchup between Team Tinker and Voidboys. It's all even. Winner's going to be moving on to claim the 1 qualifier spot. According to the bracket you're seeing right here on the far right side, it does say versus, but they're not going to be playing each other. Whatever 2 teams come out from these games are going to be the 2 teams that qualify. They'll only have to face each other in phase number 2. So with that, KotLGuy is reconnected, but you can see our next series to come is going to be Pain Gaming, who bested Root Gaming in their previous series, taking on Boreal, who were the team that upset the Merlini stack, the Monib Beret squad. So that's going to be happening in the next best of 3 at about 6:30 p.m. Pacific time, and that will be 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I believe 3:30 CET. I think I got everything covered there. So
that sounds about right. Very late for the Euro watchers out there. As soon as KotLGuy reconnects, he DCs again straight up. So, yeesh. Eek, eek, eek.
Very unfortunate, but we also have lots of other Dota action. I guess we could just fall back on that. C Dota, which I have unfortunately not been able to watch. That's when I sleep, Zyori.
Yeah,
they've been having Summit 2C qualifier as well, phase 1.
That's the big problem, man. You can't watch all the Dota on the different time zones. You got to be a little choosy. I think there is some more SEA Dota coming up tonight. Phase 2 continues on. LD and Gods will be casting that. So you get a little break after you and I are done today, and then they'll be taking helm starting, I think, at 1 a.m. our time. So just a couple hours after we finish up.
All right, looks like he's back. Team's ready to go. We are underway. So with that said, where did we leave off? An early first blood did come out for Voidboys in that mid lane with a good turnaround. It was Bien who came out on top, setting it up with the Shrapnel plus your Earthshaker Fisher stun. But everything else is all squared away. No surprise, Way2 in his free roam jungle, top of CS 31-1. Pat Soul is right behind him at 29-10 now on this Bloodseeker. He continues to take advantage of Way2 in his very low life on having that extra bit of mobility and attack speed in the lane.
All right. So, right back into it. Let's look at the graph really quickly, just see how things are faring. Voidboys, very small gold edge Tinker, as per usual, with their experience lead of about 1,500 at this stage of the game. As I say that, though, Enigma TP's bottom. There's your smoke. He'll rendezvous with KotLGuy. They wrap around the bottom. We'll see what they can get done here. Black Hole is online. Can they get a kill on Pat Soul? There's your Malefice Flow. Not yet level 6. No Primal Roar. And Pat Soul should be just fine. Glimpse back from the Omega Disruptor. That'll keep him safe. The sniper does rotate down. Maybe an overreaction from the Voidboys.
You know what, though? If it makes him safe, then so be it. They were charging forward. Disruptor was right there and able to put the Enigma back on his ass so he couldn't get a black hole, but now it's going to be the Rupture on the flow, and wow, what a setup from far! The Rupture with his long range. Bulba forced back to the tower, loses so much life, put the Assassinate on top of that, plus then you got Fly to finish it all off with that long-range Fisher.
Yep, poking
there is
him down.
Nothing that Bulba could do.
I don't think there's much he could have done at all. That was just underestimating the long-range damage per second coming out from the Voidboys, and they're off to a hell of a start here now, jumping a little further into the lead as the gold graph oscillates around that 0 mark. Okay. Ush getting a lot of space in the safe lane, though. Now moving into the tier 1 tower up top. He is the net worth leader right now. No Hand of Midas out quite yet. He went Power Tread's Orb of Venom, ready to fight if need be. But so far, Slark has been living the dream, just farming up a storm.
It feels like it's been a couple of times where Team Tinker are trying to get some early picks and early grabs, but it ends up blowing up in their face 2 times now that they've gone for a couple of engagements, one in the mid lane, then on the bottom where things don't turn out too well. Their big turning point might have to come once Koikfa is able to throw together those boots of travel and then can really become that nuisance of a Tinker we have come to know and love from our Koikfa Tinker. But for now, we're going to have to wait a bit. Another pause as the lag hiccups seem to continue here for the side of Team Tinker.
It's okay. We can keep this meter running. We have
so stern right now.
Okay. Hey, I came up with my admin hat. I woke up. I was ready. All right. Looks like just a quick one. We've got a schedule to keep here, Dakota. There will be no tomfoolery while we're on watch.
Certainly not.
No running around the pool.
Ooh, Shrapnel. Ho ho ha ha. Assassinating the ass here for Koikfa. Puts him back a bit. That March of Machines is going to prevent them from making any sort of dive attempt. So just more pinching and poking here from Voidboys early on in this game.
Yeah.
They're the ones with the early upper hand advantage.
KotLGuy struggling a little bit here. His CS score, not bad, but not great either. About 10 behind that of the Sniper, and only halfway to his BOTs. 1,000 gold in the inventory. No soul ring yet, just sitting on that bottle. It's going to be a little ways off before he can really start controlling this game and starting to turbo farm around the map.
It feels more pressure on Team Tinker's side to kind of put the levels together and get their level 6s ready to go.
7.5 minute blink dagger for the Voidboys. Mercy, please have mercy. That is a great timing for a blink. He was off to a good start, but
well, he just straight rushed it. Like brown boots blink, and he gets a smoke.
Yeah,
like,
it was bought by the Disruptor, but still,
let's keep this momentum going. And he has eyes on KotLGuy mid lane, and this could be an easy setup. Just brief lasso, bring back into a shrapnel or two, plus assassinate. This Tinker will be brought down, but can he get a hold of him? He moves up for the rune, which he is going to snag, and he's looking to come in from behind here. KotLGuy cross pass with Fly. Fly's going to be there, but KotLGuy's got to be careful. Here comes Mercy, please, taken to the skies, jumps up, grabs KotLGuy, pulls him back. Sniper should be able to rotate in very easily, gets the snipe, gets the kill.
Boom.
KotLGuy goes down. KotLGuy will be next. Brought down from Pat Soul, who just immediately rotates from that bottom lane. And there you see the synergy working out for the Voidboys. They even get a denied tower on top of it. Wow. Oh, the tower that Ush had been working on up to that point is going to be taken away.
That is about as sweet as it gets with the Blink Dagger reveal. You kill the mid laner, get a extra kill on the Venge, then you deny their first tower kill. Sniper even getting the kill on the mid laner. This is just wonderful for the Voidboys. All of a sudden, they've got a nice 4-figure gold and experience edge for themselves as their Sniper takes over the seat as the leading farmer this game. Now in the bottom lane, Omega Pawner, he's going to be in some trouble. Primal Roar, magic missiles there. Mercy, please, TP's in. They turn it around on the Venge. Maybe they'll turn it around onto Flow as well. It's going to be a twofer, but not the way that Tinker wanted. Fly is there, hits him with a totem, and that's the end of the Beastmaster. Another good trade for the Radiant. Back to the mid lane. KotLGuy, he's in more than a little bit of trouble. Pat Soul's on his way in. They find the kill beyond, finishes him off. Oh, it's a bloodbath around the map, Dakota, but one thing's for sure, it's Team Tinker coming out with the short stick.
Oh, man. Voidboys look so good with their immediate response to get to the lane and rotate and help out. So any sort of potential engagement just doesn't seem to be to the benefit of Team Tinker. They are working so hard to just try to even get one kill for themselves, but they end up losing so much more. And then when they rotate a couple of the Voidboy squad to the bottom, they can still recognize who's left to take a potential engagement in the mid lane and get more done across the board. Strong early game coming out for Voidboys here, and for Team Tinker, they have a lot of room to work with, a high ceiling for their draft, as Ush could really be a nuisance with this Slark, and obviously Tinker could be a problem once he's able to put together the boots of travel, but he is not on good time as it stands.
What an interesting series this has turned out to be. First game, Team Tinker runs over Voidboys. Game 2, a very even slugfest with Voidboys coming out ahead. Now in Game 3, it's the Voidboys looking like they could possibly run over Team Tinker. They still need a little more momentum for that to happen, but they're off to a great start here. Even Fly on their Earthshaker getting some decent farm. Arcane Boots, 600 gold to his name at the 10-minute mark. Another smoke used on the Bat Rider. He has 1,000 gold, still hasn't upgraded his boots to Tranks, nor has he picked up a bottle. So continuing to do this as efficiently as possible. Smokes with his buddy Earthshaker. They'll look for another kill, though this time they won't find one quite so easily. Tinker all turtled up in their jungle. KotLGuy desperately trying to find some recovery farm. We're 11 minutes in now, and he's still 500 gold away from the BOTs.
Pat Soul's got his Ogre Club. I wager this is going to be a BKB. Could possibly be an SNY, depending if he wants to go more combative. But
I feel like there's a fair chance it's an SNY, actually. I mean, BKB is great here, but I don't know that you want to get down towards that 5-second charge before the Tinker has really come online
That's true.
yet.
That's very true. And they have the potential to find the pickoffs with an SNY. Oh, look at Fly. He has eyes on Ush with his Invis rune.
Can they make
this happen? If he gets a little bit of help, he will. Bat Rider's going to be there. Sets it up with an Echo Fisher. He doesn't even need Bat Rider.
Oh,
he could have just got the job done himself, and pretty much does. Bat Rider shows up, just gets a little bit of extra XP and gold bonus for himself, but that was all Earthshaker and his own doing.
Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, they set up a kill on the Disruptor. Nothing too crazy about it, just farming in lane, and they rotate 4 heroes down to pick on him. So they trade 1-for-1 around the map as both teams focused around ganking, but a Disruptor for a Slark. Obvious advantage for the Voidboys. Now Team Tinker move into the Tier 1 tower down bottom. Eidolons joining the big Enigma. They'll have a glyph to delay this push, but this tower destined to fall. They won't even come to try and mount a defense. Rather, Voidboys will pressure the tier 1 tower mid. Glyph has already been used, so I think good chance we'll just see a tower for tower exchange.
And with this tower takedown though, and Fly after getting that kill, his Earthshaker, a support Earthshaker, is going to have a Blink Dagger very fast.
Lasso.
Mercy, please. Able to kidnap KotLGuy, brings him back into a fissure, and Beyond's the one to get the kill. Your sniper this early into the game is dominating. Oh my goodness.
4-0-1.
They're Void men right now. They look good.
Oh yeah, baby. That's a Yasha now up on the sniper. His farm looking great, almost level 11. And there's that belt of strength onto Patsos. Looks like it'll at least be a Sanj coming out, if not the SNY, then certainly a Halberd. Wow, I think this Blink Dagger on the Earthshaker is almost the scariest part, though. He's 2/3 of the way there. He's looking at like a pre-20-minute blink at this rate, maybe even sooner, right around that 15-minute mark if they can take another skirmish before then. So much synergy, though, with this Batrider. You blink in, catch somebody in the lasso, and there's so much long-range poke between the fissure as well as the sniper. There's just no getting away from it. Doesn't really matter who you are.
There is options, but KotLGuy's not level 6 quite yet. He's still trying to get level 5. Having that swap as a defensive tool against the initiation power of this Batrider would certainly be nice, but by the time he gets his swap, Batrider could almost have his Force Staff. He's got 2k gold, and that way it becomes even harder. That level 1 range swap is such a little... It's so little range. You have to be pretty close to get it. If he moves in, gets the lasso snag, and gets the Force Staff out, there's going to be no saving him. So we could be dealing with a situation where Voidboys are just going to be 1, even 2 steps ahead of where Team Tinker want to be.
Yeah, I mean, KotLGuy's still in full recovery mode here. He now has Soul Ring BOTs. This is progress, but you really want to have these items a good 3-4 minutes earlier than this so you can get that momentum a lot earlier. Look at the net worth chart, and Tinker is pretty damn low. About 1,500 net worth, 3,000 XP is the lead for the Voidboys. Up top, the Pink Panda, he gets flame broken back, now caught by the lasso. Another dunk after the fissure setup. Fly will just try to TP home. It's going to be close. He makes it.
That would have been costing his Blink Dagger, but he'll be able to keep it. Mercy, please, though, not going to be Slucky to get away. KotLGuy takes him down. Bulba shows up, drops down the Primal Roar, and they are still trying to bring down Pat Soul. He has got the Sange, he has got the meat, and he just takes in that damage and lives on.
This? Assassinate on the Slark! Whoa!
Oh, man.
Voidboys really erupting here. They're not done yet. Pat Soul, does he have the movement speed? No, he does not. Not enough low health heroes, but there we go. Shrapnel flying overhead. They want to get him low, softening up the juice. Not the juice, the meat. Okay, another big fight for the Voidboys. That Earthshaker escaping by the skin of his teeth, but now there's that 15-minute Blink Dagger we were talking about.
Yeah, had he been brought down.
This support shaker quickly transitioning into a core shaker at this rate.
Yeah, he's got some great farm, but so does the rest of their team. Beyond's got a full Sage and Yasha already complete, but here comes Team Tinker. Sweeps on in. Fissure, though, the Static Storm connects onto KotLGuy, and wait, two, they're going to be annihilated. Oh, man, not the engagement Team Tinker want to do, and they're going to be cleaned up. Back-to-back fights going the way of Voidboys. This is
a 4-for-0
slaughter.
Wow.
15-3 and a tier 1 tower. Voidboys have woken up after game number 1. They got their warm-up in game number 2. Game number 3, they are ready to go.
What an exchange. 3,000 net worth going the way of the Voidboys. Ush, the only one that survives because he wasn't even there. He went to a Hand of Midas build. Now Ush, not in fighting form. He started with this combative build. Realized, well, we're not really fighting that much. Maybe I should invest in a farming tool. And then all of a sudden, this mid-game opened up. Voidboys started fighting. And now Ush, desperately looking to farm anywhere he can. The recovery is on the way, but Voidboys still getting a lot of momentum. There's your completed S&Y on the Bloodseeker. Batrider goes straight into Boots of Travel, so now he can ping-pong around the map. Oh, God. Tinker have this scary match, or this scary duo of the Beastmaster with Tinker, so he can BOT around to the Hawk, but for that to make any kind of a difference, your Tinker's got to be scary, and right now KotLGuy just doesn't have the damage output to be anything resembling a threat.
And we saw what the Disruptor can do, and this was a Tinker pick into that Disruptor. If he's close enough, catches you TPing in, he's just going to drop his Static Storm, and what's your Tinker going to do? Unless Tinker has a BKB, which he's not going to be getting anytime soon. It just feels like now Team Tinker's still desperate to try to get those big kills, get the rubber band to snap back their way, and reap in a huge bounty on the back of maybe a big black hole setup and cleanup. But they can't find it. For now, they're going to use the smoke. They're going to go into the Roche Pit and try to sneak it in. But look who's already on the way. Voidboys are smoked up, and they're moving forward. This is going to be a big setup.
They see
Fly's
Team
also
Tinker
nearby.
hiding off the map. They're suspicious. In comes Mercy, please. He blinks forward, looking for a lasso. Actually can't find it. He gets stunned up right away. There's your Static Storm. Breaks up this fight. Mercy, please, barely stays alive. Ush on the low ground. May well fall. Enigma and Beastmaster have already died. Now the Venge falls. They're dropping like flies. It's another stinker for Team Tinker as now KotLGuy glimpsed back, disrupted, assassinated. A 1 for 4 around the Roche pit. Team Tinker could be on their Tiny Tim last leg here, Dakota.
That is 3 huge fights for Voidboys. Now, I was thinking they were going to go into Roche and just kind of take it for themselves, but they are just going to play it like it is. They get their kill, they get their wins, they walk back, and they continue to thrive. Looking at the net worth, near 10K for your sniper. Bloodseeker right behind at 8.2K. Net worth overall has spiked all the way up for Voidboys near the 7.5K mark advantage.
Yep.
XP, even more dramatic.
Within 2 minutes of each other, Team Tinker take disastrous team fights. I've been harping on KotLGuy's farm, but these failed team fights are not helping his bottom line. Now 0-4-1. This is time when Tinker wants to be farming around the map, working towards his Dagon, what have you, and he's forced to take part in these team fights, and he's just not ready for it. Same with Ush, and then what does that leave you with? A Blink Dagger Beastmaster? He's a one-and-done kind of guy with his Primal Roar. Still haven't seen a black hole this game, but I feel like you can't even really fault Way 2. There hasn't been a good opening for it. Anytime he's in position to get a black hole, there's a Static Storm ready and waiting with his name on it.
And that's just all his job has to be. Same way like a Vengeful Spirit maybe going against an Enigma. You just got to save that ultimate for when it's important. And, well, if it's shutting down your black hole, if it's shutting down your Tinker, that's all Disruptor needs to do. And then he gets the extra bit of bonus, has the glimpse at the ready in case anyone tries to make their escape. It's just beautiful synergy coming up from Voidboys here.
And now the BKBs will start coming out. Pat Soul has his next Ogre Club on the way. 4 stabs for the Bat Rider, and Earthshaker will be coming out next. And it looks like Sniper might just start gearing up towards the Eye of Scotty. Could be a Manta style, couple of options with that Ultimate Orb, but the end result is the same. Voidboys tanking up across the board, and now once KotLGuy starts to get those core items, they're just not going to have the impact they would have had they come out a bit earlier.
My oh my. As they move on forward, we can't help but continue to ask the question. These Tier 2, Tier 3, many consider ranked teams that have been playing together for quite a while, and just kind of working with the lower tournament ringers, if you will. I mean, just kind of saying it as it is. Going through your little Canada Cups, going through your minor JDL League, Season 2, Division 3 teams that have built up a bit of a record. They get invited into opportunities like this, and they start pulling out a couple of upsets on some of these bigger name players. Next thing you know, they're in the second qualifier, and then after that, they could end up at the Summit House.
Yeah. It's within their grasp if they can keep this up in phase number 2. I don't see a reason why they can't go far and at least make a run towards the top. 19-4, 20 minutes. The heavy underdogs really bringing it to Team Tinker. Now, Ush is starting to find some recovery farm. He does have a Shadow Blade up, holding on to the Gem of True Sight that his team picked up. So he can start moving around, maybe try to find some solo pickoffs, but he'll have the same problem that KotLGuy has, where you want this item to come out a little bit earlier so you can actually solo down these squishy supports. Now they're just not quite so squishy. And even 4 stabs will make securing these solo kills a lot more difficult. But here we go. We'll try it. With that gem, he will see that sentry ward as he takes to the high ground, and that will be enough for him to retreat, at least for now, move into some neutrals, and try to find some farm, though. Voidboys, they gearing up for a smoke here. They're grouped up as 4. Nope, no smoke quite yet. Maybe one's coming out on the courier. Yep, sure is. We'll see what they can get done with this movement.
Pretty much whatever they want. They have everything ready to go. As they truck on forward here, it looks like Team Tinker are going to be heading potentially on the way out. I say that, but Ush is going to linger.
Uh-oh, he's going to reveal
builds
this.
Up the farm.
They
think
thought they're in
the Roche. Yeah, because the smoke popped there, but it's not the case. So Fissure and Kinetic Field go down. Now they jump to the high ground, but it's too late. Ush already leaves. Ooh. So convenient right there for Team Tinker.
Yeah, unfortunate for Voidboys. You can understand why they thought they would be in Roche right there. You don't really expect the Slark to be farming in your jungle that riskily when your team is all off the map and could be smoking for a wraparound. I mean, imagine if they had just taken another path there. They could have very easily caught the Slark way out of position. They do have some sentry wards, no dust, no gem, but that was a pretty risky play from Ush.
Yeah, that probably has to be a pickup coming up here for Mercy, please. Getting a hold of a gem on his Bat Rider. But there's your Blink Dagger now coming together. This is like the essential tool belt right now for your Tinker. Boots of Travel, Blink after the Soul Ring. And now you can be a bit more mobile, a bit more safe, going to these side lanes, putting yourself into the woods, and being able to get the farm by pushing these waves forward or just keeping them back.
Yeah, at least now he can afford to be a little more aggressive and have some sort of a mobility tool to kind of reset things. They will get the tier 1 tower kill in the bottom lane. So Voidboys getting a little more map control, limiting those access points near the Roche pit. KotLGuy bouncing around the lanes. Voidboys are slowing down the tempos here. If you look at that gold graph, things have plateaued a little bit, and they need to be careful. The longer they stretch this out, the more of a chance Team Tinker can farm this one back. Rest assured that a Midas Slark and a Tinker with Blink BOTs can farm very, very quickly. They're okay for now, but I think they can take another 2 to 3 minutes to finish up these core items. Maybe they're waiting for that Scotty on the Sniper, which is right around the corner. Now that the Force Stabs are out on the Bat Rider as well as the Earthshaker. I don't know. I think they should look to force a fight fairly soon, or maybe
like
try and take Roche for themselves.
They are looking to force fights, but Team Tinker are slowly becoming more evasive, harder to get a hold of at this point. You got Ushu now has Shadow Blade and a gem, so he can kind of confidently go where he needs to without being potentially scouted out, unless he's low on life, of course, with Bloodseeker in the game. Tinker now has his Blink Dagger, so he's going to be harder to get a hold of unless Disruptor's close enough to get the vision and kind of glimpse him back. So it's not as easy to kind of go for those fights. And now you have KotLGuy leveling up. He'll have his swap. Bat Rider can't just confidently jump into the
top
mix
lane.
and get a big but
dunk onto Osh. It's another solo kill for Fly. Oh my gosh, he goes right onto the Slark, hits him with the creeps, and the damage is there. Going for the Shadow Blade build means Osh just doesn't have the HP. Oh my.
And I believe that's a gem, right? Let me see. Yep, gem in the hands of Mercy, please, it looks like. And I think that's the one he took away from Ush.
Is it? Yeah, that's Flo's. Okay. There it is. That's a gem down. That is a huge kill for the Voidboys. Not only on the position 1, but also getting a gem. That's like as value as it gets.
I know Roche is up, but I don't know if Voidboys are confident doing it. Beastmaster obviously going to have the vision up. But they do have a Bat Rider.
Team Tinker have great vision of this area in general. They've got the Hawk, Ward on the high ground, then Ward in the middle of the Radiant jungle. So unless they're completely smoked up, they will see a rotation towards the Roche pit.
This is where Tinker just keeps moving on those sides, building up his own bit of economy, keeping the pressure elsewhere, so Voidboys can't feel too confident about striding themselves in this mid lane, but they have a need to take down this tier 2 tower. Should be able to slowly wither it away. But yeah, I agree. Overall, the tempo is definitely slowed down a bit here for Voidboys, which is very good for Team Tinker and their fans.
Yeah, they can definitely take some time to farm up their core items. They have some decent late game potential themselves, still a very solid lead, just something you have to be careful of. It's something that you'll see Team Complexity fall into that trap of a lot of the time, where they dominate the lanes and then try and out-farm in the mid-game, and sometimes that can give your opposition just too much space to start their road to recovery. Now Sniper has his Scotty up, so he's feeling rather tanky, and BKB did come out onto Patsol. Now BKB is starting to come out for Team Tinker. Enigma's right around the corner, maybe 300 gold away, and Slark with just an Ogre Club for now will be looking towards Magic Immunity in his near future.
I'm curious to see if they're going to allow Disruptor to get some farm for himself so he can get some of his own mobility, whether a Blink Dagger or Force Staff. In a game like this against Tinker, that might be pretty crucial. And there you can see KotLGuy, narrow escape right there. You can start to sense that Voidboys are going to be on it. In fact, he felt confident landing that Flame Break, almost wanted to go check it out, but KotLGuy's already out of there. And now he has to make sure he's going to have free roam on those side lanes without getting too much pressure. He's all over the place, man. Once he gets his Boots of Travel and Blink, it's like he just goes into a rhythm.
I mean, imagine what this game would be like if he had gotten the BOT's Blink at a much better timing, maybe more closer to that standard as we were talking about. Things could have been a lot different here, needless to say. Voidboys grouped up as 5, though. They go to the bottom lane and just scouting out the tree line, using that shrapnel as they well should, making sure there's nobody hiding nearby, and they'll just start to slow siege this tower.
26 minutes in, looking to break the tier 2s. Score 4-20 as Mercy Please will be one to blaze it up at that time. Up and above. Waiting on the sidelines in case anyone's going to look to contest, but that's not going to be the case, so he just promptly TP's back to his base front here on the bottom.
Free tier 2. Only one outer tower remaining for Team Tinker now, that tier 2 in the top lane. A lot of map control now going the way of the Radiant. Even though Team Tinker have vision of Roche, getting there if they get caught in a bad position could be tricky.
They're just happy to keep farming. They're not looking to take fights. They're looking to stall, build up resources, and then be ready to fight thereafter. Now you see KotLGuy, he's going to go with the Yules build. That perma throw-up mode. That didn't sound right. The college frat boy mode. No, the permit, like... last time I saw this, I can't remember who it was. Was it... oh, gosh. It's killing me right now. Not Phobos.
I have no idea.
It was a Western European team, and he did the Yules against the Lycan. Right, it was against Secret, and he just kept them in the air.
Chain Yules the entire team?
He just kept the Yules. He kept doing the Lycan, throwing them up in the air over and over again, and continue
I guess if you do nothing but Yules and rearm at level 2, you can permanently Yules someone.
But at one point, you eventually build up enough mana and resource to work with where you could just Yules, dish out some heavy right-click, a laser here and there, Yules again, go thereafter, and then you get a sheep, and then you can work with that. I don't know if it's something they're looking to consider, but there's still BKBs that are pretty fresh. I mean, you still have a 10-second BKB on Pat Soul to work with. For Sniper, no BKB yet, but he is pretty big with his Scotty and Saint Yasha. You'll have a pretty big health pool to kind of work your way through.
Yeah. Beyond the 3,000 gold now, this Sniper getting close to that critical mass type threshold. 3 big core items will definitely make him rather scary. How's the Slark doing? Chris Usher, he's looking for a BKB. Actually pretty damn close to it. Mid lane, there we go. KotLGuy finally gets grabbed by a lasso. Fissure to follow up. And oh, Snowball from Beyond comes in to finish him off. Sends him to a frosty grave. Godlike streak for the Sniper continues. Beyond is 9-0-5 this go-around.
Wow. Yeah, these last 2 games, he's been really showing a lot. Game number 1, he had a bit of a slow start on his Ember Spirit, but last game he did serious work on his Shadow Fiend, and this time it's no different on the Sniper. After that takedown of KotLGuy in the mid lane, they can easily segue into the Roche here and get it taken down. No problem, as they can't really engage without the KotLGuy. And instead, they'll look to pressure this top lane and do a little bit of split pushing there.
Yep. Smart read from Voidboys. Nothing too crazy about it, but without Tinker, no way Team Tinker will want to fight in the pit. How could they do that without their mascot anyway, Dakota? It just doesn't make any sense.
Certainly not. Certainly not.
So more objectives for Voidboys, though. They just keep finding these pickoffs to maintain their momentum and hold on to that lead they've set up for themselves. The golden experience grabs have stayed pretty plateaued around that 7,500 mark for most of this match. A little bit of an upward spiral there with that last pickoff in Roche. But Voidboys still looking pretty strong, being very patient here, not getting hyper-aggressive.
It was HR, Afo Ninja, and his Tinker. Thank you very much, chat. I knew it was someone, and it wasn't Phobos. It was Afo Ninja on his Tinker play. Definitely highlight-worthy, something you could check out on the internet-verse if you want to see a world-class kind of Tinker play right there.
On the net.
KotLGuy, though, is also a world-class Tinker player. He had a bit of a hiccup and a slow start, still only 0-5, but slowly the tools begin to come together here, and he continues to bring in the farm, whether it be on his own side or taking it away from the Voidboys jungle, as you see there. They're going to continue to make it happen. Voidboys, though, it's time to push the tempo as they're able to snag up an Aegis for themselves. They give it to Pat Soul, and now they want to go for that last outer tower here in the top lane.
They certainly do. It's time to group up and continue putting pressure on. Mercy, please, not with him, but remember, he's at the BOTs, so we'll clear out the Hawk down in the bottom lane and repel this push on their Tier 2 tower. Keep some eyes on the Tinker. Team Tinker will start to move down towards the bottom. Maybe they want to jump the Bat Rider themselves. Mercy, please, hanging on to the gem. Needs to be a little careful looking at Radiant Vision. They do not have any intel, though they'll see him as they get closer to the creep wave.
KotLGuy. That small range TP to his boar accidentally instead of going back to base. Now he'll go back to base as they continue to pressure here. They're going for Mercy, please. They're going to get the call, but here comes a quick rotation. Static Storm's going to be dropped, but Ush does have the BKB, and it looks like the TP will be canceled. So they go on to Omega Poner, and they'll get a double man takedown. The rest of Voidboys are trying to come in a little late, but now they go. It's going to be Beyond who could be in trouble. No, Ush gets scouted out. Beyond hits really hard on his sniper and just shoots him down right in the face.
Wow, that is a bold sniper right there. Just tanks him. Uh-oh, are they going to find the Tinker? He's hanging out nearby in the tree line. Nope, TP's home. So a 2-for-1 trade overall. Not ideal from Voidboys whatsoever. They hand over the gem. That's the big thing. That's the reason the Disruptor went in there and ended up dying. Actually, did they get the gem back? Slark was the one that picked it up, I thought. I don't see the gem in anybody's inventory, so I don't know what happened to it. Is it hiding on the ground somewhere? Is it on a courier?
Back in base.
Where did that pesky gem get off to?
I'll let you go on gem hunt duty. Mid lane, they trade a little bit as Fly has to eat the machine harassment there, and we'll fisher down a couple of the creeps. KotLGuy,
I actually don't know what happened to this gem.
2,800 gold saved up for whatever he may choose as a secondary item.
Okay.
Could be a Dagon, could be an Eth Blade.
Ooh, Assault Cuirass now up on Pat's Soul. Little minus armor here to buff up that sniper, also make their pushing game a little easier.
He just looks so scary. He's got that blood rage on him.
He really does. Yeah, Omega Pona with a misplaying that last fight, trying to reclaim the gem, even if he was able to pick it up. I don't know what the exit strategy was there. It's like, I've got it. Oh, well, I'm dead again. Wow, look at this pickup from Sniper. This is interesting.
What was it?
A Basher. Did he sell it back? Is it still on the courier? It sure is. That is a Skull Basher, good sir. 10% chance for those bashes on ranged. Very rarely see this. Instead of upgrading the Crystallis into a full Daedalus, he goes for the second bout of RNG. Now he has the chance to crit, 10% chance to bash, and 40% chance to headshot. Can he get the trifecta?
That's a lot of chances. So
yeah.
We'll have to see if he's been kind of working with the wishing well here. There's going to be the assassin on a pile of die. Half his life is gone.
Dude, he's just shooting dice out of that cannon,
Takes
man.
2 of those, he's dead.
Yeah.
So pile of die has to get the hell back after seeing that one. KotLGuy preemptively shows up. Still holding a lot of gold. Could be going right for the sheep stick or something. 3,600 gold saved up now. He's just going to preemptively slow down the roll. But Voidboys looking to move on forward here. Could cross paths with Team Tinker. But Bulba's nearby with the bird at hand. Probably going to be looking to scout out exactly what the hell's going on. And yeah, they'll know.
Voidboys have a lot of stock in their sniper right now. If Beyond gets caught out of in a bad position or gets brought down first in one of these fights, things could go very poorly for the Radiant side. He's their big damage dealer. This Earthshaker is still completely massive. He's got a BKB coming out in about 200 gold with a Blink Force Staff and Arcane Boots to boot. They'll get the last outer tower killed. Beyond finishes it off. Aegis will be reclaimed. And that'll... Let's see. Do they want to continue fighting here? Looks like they want high ground.
It's going to be hard. KotLGuy should be here, dropping down the machines, fighting into those.
Ush is farming in the mid. He hasn't TP'd back yet. Beyond, happy to slow siege for now. They'll do good damage to this tier 3 tower before backing up. This is the power of this sniper with his super long range. Sure, you've got rockets to kind of soften him up, but still, I think Voidboys will be happy just to get that much damage done on the tower and keep Team Tinker turtled up in their base outside of Ush.
Yeah, they do keep them pressured. They take away their jungle farm, but that's not too scary. Team Tinker can easily just rotate themselves towards the bottom on the back of a Tinker. Ush is already in that jungle working with it right now. He's got a Shadow Blade, and he's probably going to look to move forward into a Scotty here after and put that Orb of Venom to use. But they're fine stalling things out. They've accepted they're going to lose their outer towers, and, well, Voidboys are going to have a pretty tricky time breaching the high ground against a team like this. I mean, Black Hole at the ready, Martyr Machines constantly being dished out, and a Primal Roar. It's not going to be easy to break the base of Team Tinker. And the game looks pretty dramatic if you're just coming in here. It's 22-6, and a net worth advantage that's been holding at about 10k in favor of Voidboys. Kind of putting the lid on the game is going to be the hardest part here for him.
Yeah. So KotLGuy now goes for Shivas, not the Scythe that you were thinking. Great against the Sniper, just doing any kind of anti-carry type item build he can go for with that Aura attack speed slow. I'll have another pause here for Team Tinker. Looks like some continual connection issues.
Just another hiccup along the way in what's been a pretty tight series up to this point. Just game number 3 now with things all evened up. Voidboys with probably one of the best starts you can ask for if you're on a Voidboys fan. But for Team Tinker, they withstand for now, and they continue to itemize. Things have definitely quieted down a bit. I mean, you can look at the surplus of crazy kills that broke down in the mid-game period here, and things just kind of went little by little from there on out. So
yeah, it's been a very quiet mid-game, all things considered.
I want to say like 4 kills in like 10 minutes at least.
Voidboys have continued to find really good pickoffs around the map, and some of them on really key heroes, but still yet to breach that high ground, which will be the ultimate challenge. Looks like we're about to resume, and there we go. Alright,
back and underway here. Ooh, look at KotLGuy. He goes with the Shiva's Guard get up.
Yep.
I believe this is exactly what F1Ninja did when he had his Tinker.
Really?
Very
Same build,
similar.
huh?
Continual spam of the Shivas onto a heavy right-click kind of a hero, like your Sniper, like your Bloodseeker. And he can toss one of them up in the air continuously. And it kind of puts more focus onto the one. And comes down to some pretty good execution.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot riding on the back of Way 2 here on this Enigma. He's got the BKB Blink Mech. It's a 10-second BKB at that. The trifecta of Enigma items. Also level 16. Has maxed out the black hole for the big damage. If he could get a massive black hole, maybe a super massive black hole at that, that could be Team Tinker's way of getting back into this game. Voidboys have a few heroes worth a lot of money right now. That Sniper in particular on a huge spree. And if they had some kind of a big team wipe, also the Earthshaker, 5-0 and 9. So there is a lot of gold lingering on this Voidboys team. Probably the reason that we're seeing them play so passive here, going only for those safe 5-on-1, 5-on-2 type ganks, because they do not want to throw away any of this free money they've got stored up here.
With this much of an advantage, one bad team fight would pretty much put Team Tinker right back into the game.
Yeah,
that's all it takes. And
absolutely.
you look at the net worth, you look at it 22-6, and you see what it is, but that's just, you know, a rubber band that could be broken.
Roche up in less than a minute, only 30 seconds away. There's also a Basher now out on Pat Soul's Bloodseeker. So that's double Basher for this team. Curious where this Sniper will go. If he looks for an Abyssal, maybe they'll just go double Abyssal Blade here so they have something to deal with the Enigma Black Hole through BKB, or just lock down the Tinker, lock down the Slark. Just going for big stuns in general.
Basher City here. Pat Soul has his own Basher. I didn't even notice that.
He just picked it up, but yeah.
That's getting in there and getting the right click, but you're going to be fighting through machines and a black hole and a Slark. They've been doing it so far, but I don't think it's going to be so easy as this game continues to progress. There's been a lot of time here for Team Tinker to build up their own, and they could be ready for a fight at a moment's notice. But this is one of those games where things could go as quick as one bad team fight, then they force out buybacks, then they go down again, and then the game's over.
Yeah, it is the Voidboys out-farming Team Tinker right now, though. They don't need to be too nervous about the farm in general. Tinker, rightfully cautious around the map, very limited on their vision. You look at the dire map, and they've only got one ward down. This little guy up here on the top rune spawn, not really giving them a hell of a lot of intel. So they are just kind of forced to play a more defensive game, even just against a Bat Rider, against a Sniper, all heroes that have a lot of catch potential if they do get scattered out in an awkward position. They do, however, know that Roche is up. There's a boar sitting in the pit, and they'll also see Voidboys move into the pit, but will they commit to it? Roche should fall pretty quickly here, and it looks like they will. Now, how did Team Tinker choose to react? Did they let this fall or try to contest? Letting it fall could be very risky. This is Roche 4. Roche number... Oh, it's only Roche 2? Okay. Thought this was Roche 3.
That's all the pauses.
Yeah. No cheese
here. The game
so.
a lot longer than it actually is, but no, it's going to be an easy Roche grab here for Voidboys.
No,
Tinker, it's not their time. It's not their time to fight.
Well, it's going to have to be soon.
High ground, yeah,
Voidboys are moving on up. This Shaker, man, he has had some big dunks this game. He's now level 16. This could be another biggin coming out here. Team Tinker need to be very careful about how they take this fight. They've got their ultis. They've got the glyph. This is the hole that needs to be made, but Voidboys will play this very cautiously. Look at that. Siege from the low ground. Bat Rider heading up to the high ground now. Glyph's already come out. Dakota, this is really scary. Slark's not even back at the base yet.
Yeah, they got to do something. Beyond's not going to stop. There's the swap back. It could be into Primal Roar. Jump in. BKB Lasso going to connect on Bulba after he did use everything, but Pat Soul's the one to go in. Big Black Hole will connect. Lock him in place. KotLGuy continues to dish out the machines to try to wither him down. Sniper drops. He buys back, and he TP's back into the fight with his boots of travel, and now will unleash more right clicks onto Ush. Ush moves forward. BKB popped and now goes for the retreat. Focus fires onto Pat Soul, but both Pat Soul and Beyond are going to be able to dish out the damage. They take down Ush. KotLGuy goes down thereafter. Double kill for Beyond. Mercy, please, and the rest of the support company happy to walk away low on life. It's still a big fight, and it's going to be Voidboys coming out on top. Happy to go toe-to-toe, and with that buyback return of Beyond, there is just not enough left in the fuel tank of Team Tinker to put up a strong enough defense for the already huge momentum that Voidboys have.
It's a 2 for 6. Now all the final buybacks coming out. KotLGuy leaving the base, looking for the cleanup here. He gets the kill on the Disruptor. Everyone else makes the retreat. Team Tinker hold on, but just barely. It's such a costly defense, and they get so little out of it. It's a buyback on the Enigma, the Tinker, and the Beastmaster. They lose their ranged barracks, hold the melee. Voidboys only used the one buyback on the sniper, but boy was it worth it. Great heads-up play from Beyond. He got swapped in. He didn't have the Aegis, but he was okay with going down there. Very nicely done. BOTs pulling that whole strategy together. And 28-8, even though they end the streak on the sniper. Look at that gold graph, and it's Voidboys coming out big. 20k net worth lead, 20k experience. They're still in control of this game.
Yeah, I feel like Voidboys just kind of knew exactly how things were going to develop. They put the Aegis onto Pat Soul, and they just dangled the sniper up front like a little worm on a hook, expecting that he'll probably be initiated on and brought down. But as long as he can get as much damage off as possible, he can always buy back and Boots of Travel back in for a second round. And Pat Soul will also have a second life to work with. So with that, they just have more on as far as numbers go against Team Tinker.
And just look at all this current gold now. You've got 5,400 on the Bloodseeker. He may just look towards a straight Abyssal Blade. Nope, BOTs. In double boots for now.
So fast.
Yeah, Tinker with a lot of gold to his name, but with these buybacks on cooldown, that's what's really scary for the Dire side right now. If Voidboys can just take one good fight here, there's also no black hole for another 40 seconds. Huge window of opportunity to try and seal the deal. It is a smoke rotation from the Voidboys. Pat Soul, the only one not with him, but now with the BOTs, can join the fight pretty quickly. Looks like there won't be a window of initiation here as Tinker are all grouped up about their base.
This is their chance. They take another big fight like that, and the game is theirs, and they move on to phase number 2 of the Summit 3, and Tinker,
it's all on the line.
They go home.
Oh, mercy please. Pressing forward, gets scouted out by the Howl. Uh-oh, it could go the other way. There's your Primal Roar. Fissure breaks it up. Beyond comes cruising in. They'll steal their neutrals, and Team Tinker, as soon as they see reinforcements nearby, they get the hell out of there. They'll stay alive for now, but Voidboys continuing to assert their dominance. Even without a glyph, if they can just push the mid lane and slow siege on this tier 3 tower, that's not a bad way to go about this stage of the game, knowing that Tinker have to be very cautious about these next engagements.
Man, oh man. That zoning Primal Roar helped them for now, but it's going to be on cooldown for this fight. Swap
BKB.
Back. The Static Storm locks him in place. Pylite Eye does go down. There's the jump in lasso pull back onto KotLGuy, and they will just dish out the right click. Self-Fuel saves him for now, but Way 2 tries to fight. No,
he's dead.
Hole.
No buyback.
No, it's not going to happen.
This is game.
Gets the kill, and this is going to be over. KotLGuy's down and out. Ush is the final hurrah, and he gets stunned in place and shot down. Headshot coming out from Beyond.
No buybacks for the Dire. Flo, the only one left alive. Bulba, I hope you've got car insurance because you're going headfirst on the wrong side of the freeway. It's an ultra kill for Beyond. And Voidboys, well, looks like Tinker not going to tap out quite yet, but they all did. And there are no buybacks here, Dakota.
A tough pill to swallow.
This is the end of it. Yeah, they're trying to break it up right now, split it across the team, but it's still not going down the hatch.
What an unbelievable phase 1 it's been already. Just looking at it as a whole, people would have expected that Voidboys would have been a shove over, but here you see his Pylite Eye drops after he gets his own vengeance kill right there.
All the buybacks being used on the Radiant side as well. They want to do this one in style. It's 5 in the grave, 5 alive. This will be the last lane of barracks. Mega's coming out. Looks like Tinker will hang around to the bitter end, but that end coming very soon.
2 sets of racks now down. And it looks like the Team Tinker road will end here. Voidboys are going to be moving on to phase number 2. They're the first team to make it out. They pull out 2 different upsets now, taking down Summoner's Rift and then taking down Team Tinker. 2 teams that have the who's who of the NA scene and even a few little Europeans here and there. But my goodness.
Well, Voidboys seem like the team to watch, especially coming into phase number 2 against the big boys, the big cats in North America. There's 2 slots available, and they're going to make a run for one of them. A very tough series for Tinker fans across the world, but again, they're knocked out early. This America Phase 1, Dakota, I don't think it could have been any more spicy than it has been so far.
Yeah, we're definitely going to see some new faces possibly make their way to the Summit House at this rate if things keep going like they do. But a lot of these teams have been together for quite a while but have not been fortunate enough to really be in the spotlight. This is their chance, and they're making the best of it, and you can feel it with their gameplay, and it definitely pays off.
Wow, what a fun series to cast, man. That was pretty hype, but Voidboys, they'll be moving on to the next phase. That means we've got one best-of-3 left. It's the lower semifinal scheduled to start in just about 40 minutes. Same schedule as yesterday, 6:30 local time, 9:30 EST, and that's way in the middle of the night, 3:30 a.m. for y'all on the CET. That is going to be Pain Gaming versus
Boreal Esports.
Woo!
I got you covered. Don't worry.
It's going to be a good one.
All right, folks. We'll be back with that matchup in about, what'd you say, about 40 minutes time. 40 minutes time. We'll be back right here with more Dota play. Get yourself a snack. Go take a poop. Do what you got to do. We'll be back in just a moment.